Welcome to Quick 3D Tutorials. In the past video we have shown you how to create the plane that we need to use it inside the Zbrush to create a tileable texture. And in this video we want to importing it, set up the scene inside the Zbrush to getting tileable painting, tileable sculpting, and tileable nanomesh and insert mesh brush or object if we want. So before we get started to it, we need to check which resolution we want of the map. So here we have the kind of different map size, and as higher you will go, you will get more resolution, but it will also slow down your computer and depend which graphic card you have. So in this case we're going to choose 1024 as the example. So here we are back inside the Zbrush. The first things we need to do, go to the document, check the Pro to be off and type 1024 by 1024 and just press resize. So when we have resizing it to zoom in and out inside the canvas, we need to use this, and that is very important. Do not use the zoom inside this because it will zoom in inside the 3D and not in the canvas. So now we have set up this one. We need to go to import the plane. So we just go to the Polymesh 3D to import them in one time. So we just drag it, go to the edit, go to something called Z plugin, subtool master, multi-append, and just select these three plane we have just created in the last video. So now we need just move it a little bit and holding shift to snap it to the position, and here we have, or what it's called, the plane. So if we look into the plane, we have one called camera. The camera plane will only focus inside the center of the tiling, and the nanomesh is for creating tileable nanomesh and object. And the tilings is for the painting and sculpting. So we just starting by this, select this and turn the other to be off and press F. So now we need go to the geometry. Of course we need sometimes have more or less subdivision, and make sure you don't use the smooth because it will destroy the tileable, and make sure you have smooth UV if you want to export poly painting from here, but we don't need it, but just turn it on. So from here we just press a couple of times, subdivide this and double check. You can see we have a lot of information now. So now we want only focus in the central area. So let me show you. So if we look into this, that will focus in the central area. So you selecting it, press F, and now we are focusing in the camera area, which is the tileable, which is the camera plane. So we turn this off and just select the tilings and turn the polyframe to be off. So now we are actually ready to create our tileable texture, but before we can create this, we need to choose which brush we want. And any brush you're going to select, you need to go to something called curve and ramp mode to be number 1. And that is important. You sync the last video of how to create this plane, otherwise it will not work exactly inside the Zbrush. So you need to make this exactly inside Maya by the size I have created, otherwise it will tiling will not work. So now you can see if I just tiling or drawing from top, it came back and so on. So that one is full tileable. So the other thing I will also talk about is actually if you change to another brush, it will not support tileable, and that is because any brush you're going to select here, you need to go to the brush and the ramp tool and put it to number 1, and now it will work again. But there is some of brushes inside the modbook, inside the Zbrush, it not support, like insert mesh brush and so on, and it needs to be drawn on the nanomesh plane. So that was the first thing about how to set up the tileable texture for texture and sculpting. And I will just give you a quick tip about how to get soft stroke. You can see it is soft enough, but you can see some of lag on it. You need to go to something called stroke lazy mouse. So as higher number is your lazy mouse is, you can see I can see every single stroke, and as lower it should be smoother. But if you're putting it on 0, when you starting slow is smooth, but when you're going it fast it is not smooth. So if you want to get a smooth result of the stroke, you need to go to the stroke and go to put the lazy mouse not to 0, something 0.1. So now you will get very nice soft stroke, and of course divide the tool if you want to have more softer result. So that is a very quick tip about this. So now we have set up the tilings. We want now go to the nanomesh and create it to be tileables. So I just zoom out a little bit, turn this off, and selecting my nanomesh plane and turn it on. And now before we got to it, I will just explain what we're going to do. So this plane we have is basically the yellow one. We want to have one copy in the negative and one copy in the positive. And when we have it as one, we want it again in negative and positive things to work it, to tiling to work correct. So here we are inside Zbrush once again, selecting the nanomesh and go to area mesh, turn this on, and from here we need to have one copy here. So we're going, that is the x-axis. So we need to go to the x-axis and type -2. So we have one copy of this. To keep this copy, we need to go to append the new one. And now we want to have another copy in the other direction. Now instead of negative, we need to just type +2 and append the new one. So as you can see now we have this in the x-axis. It should be y-axis, but that is because we have created the plane inside the Maya. That is actually z-axis. So we're going to the z-axis and put this to be -2 and append the new one, and go to the z-axis once again, type 2 and append the new one. The very important thing is to tileable work, lock position and lock the size. So now we have set up the tileable nanomesh plane. If I select my camera, you can see it is not in the central, but that is okay because we have adding 2 in the outside. It is not a problem. So yeah, we have more here, but that's not a problem. It will work otherwise. So now we want to focus in this area. So we're selecting the camera, press F1 and second time. Now we have focusing on it and selecting your nanomesh plane. So here you can apply nanomesh and you can also apply insert mesh brush. So let me just show you a quick review of it. Of course, in the next video we're going to talking about the different type, how to insert the different type of nanomesh and insert mesh brush and so on. But just to give you a very quick review of it, we can select the insert mesh brush inside here. It will support. And for this, we don't need to have this one ramp mode to be 0. It is not a problem. So we just pick up the ear and just dragging it. Go to the move tool. Now, when I move it here, as you can see, it be repeat and same thing here and here. So it is full tileable, as you can see here. The other thing I will also show you, if you want to create another one, just press the Q or this and create another one of this. Move key, rotate this a little bit, something like this. Okay, and that is also tileable. And of course, if you're just putting it over each other, it will be something like this, but is tileable. So let's say you have done this, press Q, and we just deselect here. And I want actually, let's say I want to move this one to be up or down or whatever. So to do this, we need to be in the draw mode, Control Shift and select it. And from here, W to move this, yeah, as you can see, over here or here. And Control Shift outside again, so we are back. But some of the meshes, they have polygon polygroups on it, as here. So you can see we have the green, the pink, and kind of blue or something like this. So if you want to select this, if I just use the same method, go to this, Control Shift and click on it, I will not move all the object, as you can see. So to selecting all of them, you need to go back to the empty area, Control Shift and selecting it. So now by this way we have selecting only this, and now we can just press W to move it over other area, and Control Shift outside. So now you can see we can also just very quickly testing it is tileable or not. So we just take a render of this very quickly. I'm going to something called texture, grab the duck, and by this select it, go to spotlight, make it a little bit smaller and opacity to be off, holding Shift and drag on this. So you can see all the ear and body is full tileable. Okay, before we end the video, I will just remove this guy here. So here we go. Now we have this file ready to be used anytime you want it. So here we have the camera, here we have nanomesh, and here press on this nanomesh and tileables also. So you can just focus on the camera area and selecting whatever you want, and now you can save this file, and anytime you want have 1K resolution, you can create tileable texture here. And it is very simple, go to the file, save as, and save it. Here I have just create one, I'm going just to save it over there. So anytime you want to have 1K tileable texture to create, that is ready inside the ZBrush. And thanks for watching.